The battle to secure women's rights cannot be won unless attitudes are transformed. These sentiments were expressed by former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga at an event held in Colombo today.
However much we may talk about getting women's rights, we can have thousands of conferences, seminars, workshops and whatever you may like. But if the basic concepts that that fashion our lives, that fashion our thinking, that our attitudes are not transformed, I don't see how we can win this battle. What is the percentage of women represented in Parliament, in the local bodies? Not 50%, certainly not. In Sri Lanka, the situation is absolutely putrid. And this is the country that produced the world's first woman Prime Minister.
Also speaking at the event, Minister Rosi Senanayake attributed the increase in crimes of violence against women and children to a failure to criminalise the criminals.
That from the year 2012 to 2014, violence against women and children had increased by 20%. And the reason being that the state has failed to criminalise the criminals. Now, when I questioned the Minister of Justice in Parliament many a times on these cases and what kind of methods or what have the Justice Ministry done in order to make sure that the perpetrators have been taken to task, it was sad to know that even though the reported cases are almost 75,000 women and children, the number of perpetrators who are at this point of time serving a sentence is only 713. It is time for us to take severe action with regards to criminalizing these criminals and not letting them get off the hook.
Globally, as I mentioned previously, only 22% of all national parliamentarians are female, which is a slow increase from 11% since 1995 over this last 20 years period. Only 10 women have served as head of state and 14 have served as head of government. There are 38 countries in which women account for less than 10% of parliamentarians in the higher or lower houses. Even if the present rate of increase in women's representation continues as compared to previous decades, we are still a long way from reaching the parity zone of 40-60% of women representation.
An event titled Celebrating Women Towards an Inclusive Political Culture was held at the BMICH today. The event was organised by International Alert Lanka in collaboration with the South Asia Policy and Research Institute, was graced by several distinguished guests including government representatives, women's organisations and media.